Today we are going to be talking about Disney World in 2021, what my experience was like with all the regulations put in place, and my advice to you guys. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Christine and I love all things Disney. If you love Disney too, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It means so much to me when you do that. So the first regulation we're going to talk about is masks. Masks are required to be worn at all times unless you are eating or drinking actively. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I am not going to go ahead and sit here and tell you guys that everyone is wearing a mask at all times, even while they're dining or they're in the restaurant and they keep it on until they're eating. That is not the case at all in my personal experience. I went in the last week of February, first week of March of 2021. And when I was there, whenever I was at a dining location or anything like that, everyone had their masks off, and whether they were actively eating or drinking, they kind of used that both as, you know, a place to eat and a place to take off the mask and relax. The relaxation stations that they have around the parks work for that too. I found that most people did this at restaurants. I personally was not uncomfortable with it. I didn't mind people around me not having their mask on while they were eating. It didn't bother me. But some people, that might bother you. So you have to ask yourself, if you're planning on going to Disney World, are you comfortable being around people that don't have masks on actively? I do have to say, while we're talking about dining, that Disney has made most, if not all, of their restaurants that are quick service mobile order only. So you definitely want to make sure that you have your phone and your My Disney experience and you understand how mobile order works before you head to the parks. So pretty much everything I ordered was a mobile order. There were a couple things, like I actually was able to go into some of the pavilions in Epcot and get things from like the Kringla Bakery and the Werther store and things like that. Those were not mobile order, but most other restaurants in Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios are mobile order only. And I actually prefer this. You go on the app, you type in the restaurant, or you scan the QR code in front of the restaurant, you select the time in which you want to get back, the menu items, bing, bang, boom, you are done. It's super simple. The only thing that really does happen at these quick service restaurants is people just gather around the front or along the side of them while waiting for their food. Most people do have masks on, but this will be an overarching theme if you go in 2021 that nobody is following the social distancing rules. Now, according to Disney and, you know, CDC and all of that, currently you're supposed to be staying 6 feet apart from people. This is 100% not happening at all at any time while you were in the parks. When I was there, everyone was up in my business. I was up in everyone else's business. I personally was okay with that, kept myself sanitized, and all that good stuff. It doesn't really affect me or bother me. I know some people are very sensitive to it though, and I respect that choice. I just want you to know that even though a lot of people say, oh, Disney has all these regulations in place, people are not following them perfectly. And that is because it is impossible to follow them perfectly given the layout and the way that things work in Disney World. It just isn't possible for people to stay 6 feet apart from each other at all times. It really isn't. Even at 35% capacity, the parks are busy. So people are bumping into each other. It is what it is. I will say that cast members do a wonderful job of reminding people to keep their masks above their nose, wash their hands. There is an announcement about every 15 to 30, I'd say more like 30 minutes, that is a park reminder that says, please keep your mask up, essentially, wash your hands, maintain social distancing, all of that, just as to keep people reminded that we're supposed to be doing these things. Another regulation Disney has put in place is line markers and plexiglass in the queues. So there are line markers 6 feet across, or 6 feet apart from everybody. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, people again don't follow these because they are confusing. When you're going around turns and things like that, they have them all perfectly spaced 6 feet apart. It's no fault on the fault of Disney. It is just on the fact that there's no one telling us like, hey, just remember when you're going around turns, you have one here and one here and one here. Or I'll do it so you can actually see. So one here, and one here, versus when they're straight, they go here, here, here. So people all end up just kind of like being on each other. So you'll have the line going down the middle for the queue here, and you'll have people here and here. So they're right next to each other. And that's just how it is. They do have plexiglass up in most of the rides, bride queue lines, but they are long, and then there are queues that go way past where the social markers are, the social distancing markers are, and you know, the cast members, they are not really on top of it in terms of that. They're on top of masks and all that, but the social distancing, I'm just gonna tell you right now in 2021, out the window. Another major change for Disney World in 2021 was the elimination of the Fastpass. And what that has done essentially, it has increased the wait time for the most popular rides. You will wait a very long time. If you have a DAS card, which is a Disability Access Service card, you can get through the Fastpass line and they work it all out that way. But most regular people who do not have a DAS card have to wait in the regular line. I will say most of the waits that I encountered were anywhere from 30 to 80 minutes long, and you wait in them. Not only do fast passes affect the wait times of rides, but the limited capacity that they are putting on rides. So a lot of the times, most of the rides, not all of the rides, but I'll get into that in a second, most of the rides, you are spaced out. So they'll put like one party and then have an empty row and another party and an empty row. This was not consistent at all though. Let me tell you, Kilimanjaro Safari was backed all the way up. Like they used every spot. They do have plexiglass sheeting and it's only one party per seat, but there was parties in every row. Everest was the same way. Mickey and Minnie's Railway was the same way. There's a lot of rides that aren't doing this, and this was my biggest issue with Disney, I have to say, in 2021, was the lack of consistency. Because if they had some sort of consistency, it would make more sense to cast members, it would make more sense to guests, and guests would be more compliant. It seemed like, even though there were regulations in place, there just were a lot of inconsistencies. Again, I was okay with it. I felt safe and comfortable there, but I really want to give you guys an honest opinion so you can determine whether you feel safe and comfortable to go. The next thing I want to bring up is the fact that you have to make park reservations. So this is different than it ever has been before. Once you get your tickets to Walt Disney World, you then have to go online and make park reservation passes. So you have to make park reservations for any of the parks you want to go to. So you get your ticket, you do it all on My Disney Experience. Now before, you used to be able to just go to any park. It was not a big deal. You just chose, this day I'm going to do Epcot, this day I'm going to do that. Now you have to make sure that there is availability and you are able to go to the park you want to. So I definitely recommend making those reservations as far in advance as you can. In general, my thoughts for going to Walt Disney World in 2021. I loved it. I felt that it was worth it. I do not think that the crowd levels are low, like a lot of people are saying online. They're like, oh, it's low, the waits aren't too bad. No, no. I went during a very not busy week. This was not like a spring break week or anything like that. This was the last week of February to the first couple weeks of May, and it was crowded, it was busy, but I had a great time. Like, the only thing I didn't like was the mask, and that was my own fault because I didn't bring a breathable mask. And you need to bring a breathable mask. It was during a heat wave and I was very hot and I work from home, so I'm not used to wearing it a lot, and it was totally my mistake. In general, I feel very safe and very comfortable being at Walt Disney World. I feel like the regulations they put in place are being followed as much as people are willing to follow them. It's just like if you go to a grocery store or anything else, not everyone's following it. It's just the way of the world right now. But you just have to ask yourself if you're comfortable. And I would caution you if you're very anxious around people who aren't social distancing or who are pulling their masks down frequently, things like that. People are definitely pushing those boundaries, and I just want you to know what you're walking into. This is not to say don't book a vacation in 2021. I think it's a great idea. I'm probably going to be going again a couple more times this year, and I'm very, very excited about it. I have learned some things for sure. Definitely the mask thing was a big one. And just, take it as it comes. You're going to have some people who really follow it, and you're going to have some people who really don't. And just focus on yourself and keep yourself as safe, sanitized, and happy, and you will have a magical time. If you have any questions as to my experience in 2021, please leave a comment below. If you want to follow along on that vacation, there are vlogs up on my channel. You can go check those out and subscribe, please. I am a small channel, so any support is super helpful. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see y'all real soon.